everybody, welcome back to the Horror Closet, not Criterion. We are here. It's a Saturday night here in Nightmare Video, our collection space. Did this one months ago, so definitely didn't intend to wait this long in between, but here we are. Saturday night, super cool. It's like our favorite place to be on a Saturday night. What more could you want? Maybe some pizza or something. So if you didn't see the first one, this is like, or hopefully you're familiar with the Criterion Closet, which is a little segment on YouTube where someone who actually is somebody, unlike me, like a celebrity of some type, will go into their literally this closet with all the Criterion movies around them, and they'll just randomly go through and pick movies, talk about them, put them in their bag. So I always thought it was cool when I saw someone actually grab a horror film. I always thought that I got giddy for that. So I was like, it'd be really cool if it was just all horror. So that's what I'm doing, because our collection is all horror, of course. So it's just spontaneous, off the cuff, maybe a little touch and go, shall we? So yeah, I'll just go through the collection randomly, pick a movie, talk about briefly why I like it so much, and that's it. Put it in my bag and rent it here at Nightmare Video. My little membership card. Even though we're the owners, I still got to use my membership card. Okay, so let's go. I'll go this way this time. We got some VHS here, so I'll just randomly pick a VHS tape to rent. This cover, like it was back in the day, always drawn on the cover. This is The Demon, which doesn't actually contain a demon, but 70s, I believe, with the great Cameron Mitchell. And this actress, Jennifer Holmes, very kind of like a subdued slasher, didn't really do very well. But I would love to see, I have a DVD of this as well, but I'd love to see finally a Blu-ray for this one. It's not big on killings or gore, but to me, I love this lead actress here, Jennifer Holmes, is actually really good. And my favorite part of this film is the climax, the final act, where she's actually being chased throughout her house by the killer. And it's to me, like, personifies that stalk and slash element, which is an element I love in a slasher film, and definitely something that's not done often, I guess I would say. So if you like that kind of like tense, kind of methodical, going after in this case, the final girl, this does it extremely well in the final act. She even like hides up in like the attic, not even really an attic, almost like right under the ceiling, on the roof, the boards. It's just really done well. So that's really what I think about when I think about this film. I would love to see this get a Blu-ray finally with this awesome artwork. I don't know, is it too shiny there, Shelly, or can you see that okay?
Angle it like
this
forward.
That? Anyway.
Yeah, that's a little.
Love that artwork. It's one of those ones I'm surprised actually hasn't been put out yet. Maybe Vinegar Syndrome would be a really good one to release that, but fingers crossed. Going all formats, there's a DVD rack here. It's so tough to just randomly pick something. Here's one I haven't seen in a while. Speaking of Criterion, so it's kind of strange, apropos for me to pick this now. Sweet movie, 70s. Definitely due to watch this. This was one of those kind of reactionary films. I believe it's Croatian, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of like a reactionary film, political, social oppression type film, which was prevalent back in those times in some of those countries, like, Czech and various countries that had to deal with that stuff, even Spain, of course. But this one, so very esoteric, stylish, art house, surrealist. One scene I really do remember is kind of like a big dinner, and they're just like throwing food all over each other and themselves, kind of like a food fight orgy type thing. So it's comical times, but also kind of disturbing at times. Plot you could consider a bit turgid maybe, but super cool if you're into that kind of, again, reactionary, provocative cinema. Definitely overdue to watch that one. Sweet movie. I know there's a Blu-ray, so maybe this will compel me to get the upgrade of the Blu-ray. Let's go this way. Some signed hard boxes here. And I'll definitely tend to do this more often. Again, it's quick. It's not a long video. Hopefully you enjoy it. It's a chance for you guys to see our collection space without it being kind of like pretentious and hopefully this doesn't come across as pretentious, but let's see, it's so difficult to pick one thing. Maybe more recent film, In Memory Of by Eric Stan. I still don't know how to pronounce this fucker's name. Eric Stanze or Stans, but longtime fan. It's just weird. I've never heard his like name actually said out loud. So definitely an underground horror auteur. Been a fan of him since like the very early days. Was it Ice from the Sun? Is that the name? I think that was his first film. One of his first films. Actually, the Harvest film might have been. Anyway, long story short, this is one of his more recent films, and this was an awesome introduction to actress Jackie Kelly, and this was, I think, I nominated her for Best Actress the year this came out. Super cool. Not as like not as artsy or maybe as stylish as some of his earlier works, but great film, 2-disc edition. So if you're into underground stuff, definitely look. I think he still has like a website with all his movies on it, but this was one of his more recent ones, and he had not had a film for quite a few years before coming back with this one. So this was a welcomed return for Eric and his last name, which crazy that I haven't heard that loud enough that I'm able to pronounce it correctly. So anyway, some all horror soundtracks over here. Come this way. We got Graveyard Shift on the TV. I always gotta have a movie on, right? Elvira's here, always looking stuff over. Let's see, I will go over here. So I was turning that down, I think. We're in the Vinegar Syndrome section, Severin section. Okay, here's a film that I actually watched very recently. This was a first time watch called The Doll. So this is The Doll from the 60s. This is the first time I had watched this. This is one of the Vinegar Syndrome sub-labels. And was super excited to get it. It's in black and white. And the story intrigued me based on the guy who, not best with his social skills, ends up with owning a doll. More so a mannequin, I would say. And his loneliness comes to the forefront in more psychological horror film, and really a story about isolation and solitude. But you know me well, I love mannequins in horror films, so this one has plenty of that. There is one scene in particular where I like scenes, the more the better. But anyway, so let's just say he gains a love for this doll. It does, it's not a film that goes over the top or anything or extreme. I guess for the time, maybe it would be considered kind of provocative, but as the film went on, it's pretty tame. And again, more in the psychological aspect, aspect, but I love, because I was wondering where it was going to go in the final act. And let me just say, without spoiling it, it went exactly where I wanted to go. And they did it with, they executed it perfectly to me. So, psychedelic at times, just, if you're into black and white 60s horror films, in the same vein as like maybe vibe-wise, not as great, but like Carnival of Souls, Bucket of Blood, Bloodbath, that type of vibe. And this is this a French film? Hold on one second. No, this is actually a Swedish film, which actually made it all the more unique because there's not a ton of Swedish horror films, especially back then. So again, that it just gave it such a, and with it being my first time watch, it gave it even more of a like exciting new feel. And this is really, guys, this is what to me is the epitome of what physical media is at this point. Sure, there's always going to be the 800th release of Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and those are exciting too, especially with, they do these crazy editions. But really, there's two things that really excite me these days, and that's like bringing a film out that you've wanted for so long. I always use Spider Labyrinth as my example of that. A film that I had a crappy bootleg of that finally got a great release. And then on the other end of the spectrum, a film like this, which I had here's the back by the way, film that I had no clue, like I didn't even know that this existed, and I consider my knowledge pretty up there. So like I'd never heard of this film, and when I read the description, I was just sucked in, and that's so exciting. You end up loving the film. So that to me, that's really what all this is about the physical media at this point and we're spoiled at this point because we still get great stuff like this. Not only is it released, but we get a beautiful edition. So
that goes in the bag.
Oh yeah, well, I put it back for. Thank you, Sean. I forgot I was renting it. I want to watch it again, even though I just watched it a few weeks ago. Just trying to. Oh, there's, if you guys want to see it, there's a rack. Literally, we're using all the space we can. There's a rack over here. This would be the W's of our A through Z DVD part of the collection. Make this my last pick. I want to keep these videos short. In the witch section. So how about Witchcraft? This is a British film, another 60s film, I believe. So I just keep, I guess, subconsciously picking a bunch of 60s films. Lon Chaney. This is actually, I love him in this role because he is a rotten bastard in this film. And because I think I tend to like Lon when he's kind of like cute and, I don't know, like likable, kind of like in Spider Baby, right? But here, yeah, he's a vindictive, grumpy old man in this one. Does it very well. And then there's this, it's probably hard to see. Tell me, Shelly, if I need this actress right here. Close it anyway.
Got it.
She plays a witch in this, and for most of the film, when they do show her, she has like a cloak on. It definitely puts some black under her eyes. She looks so badass. One of my favorite, like, just witch characters in horror history. She kind of resembles in some ways with her big eyes, like Barbara Steele. So the witch aspect of the film, which isn't a huge part of it, but when it does come into fruition, she's like a great catalyst to that. She looks so cool. Definitely folk horror, British, 60s, black and white. And I think it's one that doesn't get a lot of attention. I'm really surprised hasn't gotten an upgrade as well. So hopefully, and again, case in point here with great artwork. I would love to see this released with this artwork on Blu-ray. If not, this is why DVD matters, because who knows if it ever will, and we at least have this awesome edition. So if you're a folk horror fiend like I am, witch horror, maybe this is one that you've missed out on or something. So this is a Region 2 DVD release, but love this film, Witchcraft, aptly titled, with a mean Lon Chaney. So I'm going to rent that. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed In the Horror Closet, not the Criterion Closet. This is our version of the Criterion Closet. Just going through the collection. I like posts every now and then. I think it's a little more interesting than just random updates or whatever. But let me know what you think. Give me some thoughts on if you enjoy this. Happy Saturday on our end. Whenever night you're watching this, hope you're doing well. Like, subscribe, please. I'll definitely try to do another one of these sooner than later. Hope you guys are enjoying the weather, even though it hasn't quite turned yet. Here it's like raining in the 50s or 40s right now here. Pretty lame. Good night to stay and watch films. After I rent these, I'm going to grab my card. Stay scared, everybody. Be kind to each other. See you soon. Chars, I'm out.